Made for more with Maya. Dare to be more.
Hello and welcome to the Made for More show. My name is Maya and I am your host. My goal is to help you clarify your vision for life, understand why you're on earth, help you develop those areas of giftings, abilities, and talents, and help you deploy them to make an impact on planet Earth. You were sent here for a reason. You're not an accident. There is a purpose for your existence. Each week, I'm going to take you on a journey, an inspiring journey, a motivational journey, a journey that helps you see through the lives of others who are walking this path. Men and women from different walks of life, races, ethnicity, who have embraced the call to be more, who are stepping into life courageously and living their dreams. And that is my dream for you. You are made for more. Hello and welcome to the Made for More show. My name is Maya and I am your host. On the show, we take you on a journey of personal discovery, guiding you to develop your potential so you can be the best you can be, living the life you were created to live, unleashing your fullest potentials to the world. This week, we continue our journey of showcasing individuals who are doing amazing things in the world of career. Our conversations will focus on career as a platform for unleashing purpose, vision, mission, and impact while you make income. I have an exciting guest who will be sharing her life story with us. And I know that as you listen, there'll be many aha moments for you. There'll be times when you connect, there'll be times you'll be wondering, oh, why did she do that? But just stay tuned and let's go on the journey together. She is the CEO and founder of Mak Nisy Collections. She's also the creative head at Gamonsi Enterprise. She's also a 2017 Mandela Washington Fellow and a member of the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, Abuja, and the national chapter. Join me as I welcome to share her story with us, Mrs. Nneamaka Nwosisi. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you here.
Thank
We have
you.
looked for you around the world, and today we have you.
I'm glad you can lock me down.
Okay, now let's dive deep into your story. Tell us, how did Mak Nisy Creation begin?
People ask me that question a lot, and when I tell them Mak Nisy Mak Nisy started because I was looking to get busy, and then I always say I was unemployed. When I started Mak Nisy, I was in a job that was going south, and they weren't paying us salaries, and I was looking for something that had meaning and purpose for me. I had just moved back from England and spent about a year plus in Nigeria, and it wasn't going well. And when I thought about bag making, I remember telling my big sister, I'm not going to just do anything. She wanted me to do all sorts of things. Let me import this so you can sell X, Y, and Z. I said, no, I'm going to do something that makes a difference. I remember the first time I saw an Ankara bag, it was covered. It wasn't made right. They just got another bag and covered it. And when I started thinking bags, I had tried to start sewing and making clothes for people. We're talking 2010. These things weren't in, but because I was back from England, the whole thing about the African fabric excited me. So I was doing that, and then the bag thing came, and I tried a few on my machine, a small sewing machine my mom gave me as a wedding present, But I knew the kind of bags I wanted, so I needed to make it stronger and structured. So I went into the market here in Abuja, Taku to be precise, and found a shoemaker, and I said, "Can you get this bag to look structured? The kind of bags we make today is structured." And then he says I should give him. I got this damask fabric for 200 naira. I like to remind people how much my first
Where we began
was. Yes, and I gave it to him, and I said, "This is the front, this is the back," because the damask has different sides, right? He says I gave him a clutch I had. I said, "Come back in like a week plus, or come back in a few days. I'll give it to you." I went back there in a week plus, and he handed me this bag, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is possible!" And literally, that was how Mak Nisy started. At this point, I probably didn't even have a name. I didn't have a name for the business, but I remember the thrill I felt. Oh my god! So I can make something that I can leave my house and I have a part of Africa with me in a bag. I had never seen minus the lady I saw in some fair here in Abuja when I moved back. I had never seen anything like that. And literally that was almost like how Mak Nisy started. I started nursing the idea. He was supposed to produce them for me so that I could sell, but he didn't get my vision. And then because I was in this job that was going south, every 2 o'clock, I go into the market, sit in his shop, I'm watching what he's doing.
Wow.
And I have, you could say I have a bit of a photographic memory, and I was just learning. A few people, I went for a fair, a few people ordered, and he wouldn't come up with it. So one day I was going to see him again for the last time to ask, produce these bags and give me. And somebody bashed into my car at the back of, under the bridge in Otako. And I went there, I wanted to scream at him. Something said to me, "You're jobless. How are you deserving this guy? You've been coming here for like 2 weeks. Why don't you just try to take the size of this bag and see if you can create it? You've been watching."
Wow.
So right there and then, it was like, I call it my aha or my epiphany moment. I just brought out a book, a little jar I had in my bag with a pen, and I started writing everything I needed: hammer, gum, brush. And then when I finished, I stood up, I went to the plastic shop around the corner, and I said, "Please, can I get a plastic?" I got it. I went to the guy. I came back. I said to them, "Where do people buy this hammer? Because I've spent so much time in this market. So I see other shoemakers come around." And then they showed me. I went there. I bought a hammer for maybe 1,000 naira. I bought this container for 50 naira. I bought the brush, maybe another 50 or 100 bucks. And I went back to him. I said, "Oh, yeah, put my own 50 naira gum." Because I'm there. And he's like the king of shoemakers in the market. And all these people are coming to buy stuff. He paused it. I said, "Oh, yeah, give me all the sides of my bag. I'm going to go home." And then I went home, and in less than maybe 30 minutes, I had finished the size of this bag that this guy was trying to knock together for like 2 weeks. Literally, that was how Mak Nisy started. I called my big sister and I said to her, "Onyoma, I'm going to make bags in
You
this
won't
town."
believe what just
And
happened to
people
me.
would not. She said, I told her what happened, and she was like, "What?" I said, "Yes." I said, "I'm going to make bags." And people will say, "What?" "I'm going to be a shoemaker." People will ask how. She said, "You can do it." That was the time Obama was president. So that word, and that was all I
Yes, you
needed.
can.
The next day I went back, I told him, "Give me the body," and he gave it to me. I came back, and before you knew it, the only thing I know, I left a dent in the floor of that place I was doing my pop. So I had to let it out, put something under to protect it. But this is how Mak Nisy started. By the time I delivered those bags, I got an order right out from it, because there was nothing like what I was doing in this town at that point. In that fashion, like very modernized as opposed to what you get from their bookies or something. And they gave me this order, and that was how I went back, sat down in my front porch the next day, and I began my business.
Incredible story. And to think that what began just like a joke is over 12 years today. She has clientele all over the country and lots of clients outside the country.
Outside the
Yes,
country
I
as
have a
well,
couple of
yes.
Mak Nisy bags. I can testify to the beauty and quality of the work she does at Mak Nisy. And she even has an outlet in Ghana.
Yes.
Amazing.
International outlets, yes. We're looking at others as well.
Interesting. I told you there'll be lots of aha moments as we go on this conversation. But you also have a subsidiary called Gamosi Enterprise. What's that about?
Yes. Okay, so Gamosi is a sister company of Mak Nisy. We started because we wanted to create another line. It's a wholesale line. So Gamosi is literally wholesale and bulk orders. And it's also relatively more affordable than the Mak Nisy bag. So we needed to separate the two companies. So with our first suppliers was a multinational South African company with over four. They had, at least when we started retailing with them, they had more than 45 stores in the country. And so Gamosi is wholesale. So you have to be taking a good number, making a good number of bags to get the margins for buying at Gamosi, and that's what Gamosi is. And Gamosi is a company that's dear to my heart, because Gamosi was a company that stretched us and showed us the capacity of what we want. Because when we started producing for this company, they would order 1,200 bags every month. Yes, from us. Yes, obviously discount and less price than Mak Nisy, but we had to now take on more people to find our capacity, and we had to deliver on time because we were doing monthly orders for them. So yes, it's our sister company. Started about 2 plus 3 years ago, almost 3 years now, and yes, it's doing well. We thank God.
I can almost connect to I can feel yourself. Let me ask you, how do you feel seeing that thing that began just like a joke? I mean, today you're exporting. That's surreal. Tell me, how does it feel?
I don't. How can I put it into words? there's so much just to think about it. Like when people ask me and I say to them, I started my business with less than 5,000 naira. Yes, we're talking 12 years ago, but you know, I've grown to find out that the best businesses start in on people's kitchens, you know, in people's houses. You nurse these ideas and you bring it out. But for me, it's an amazing feeling. I
Mm.
started this business myself. My gate man, who is like my production manager today,
Wow.
12 years later, yes, Friday, my boy, joined me, and today we have so many success stories. I
Mm.
can only just thank God, and I'm grateful that I persevered till this time and that we're still going. So
Hmm.
yes.
Never say never. Dreams come true. Like I'm just in awe. Let's take you back. Let's go to your educational journey. What did you study? So I'm trying to
Oh
put it
well,
yeah.
yes. My story is amazing because first my first degree, which I studied in Abuja State University, was estate management.
Okay.
Finished out, and obviously it's something, a gift my dad gives all of us, and we have to travel outside the country for our masters. And when I got there, I wanted to do something that had meaning. I didn't want to study real estate management. They call it real estate management. I wanted to do something that was there to me, and I wanted something that could impact when I came back.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied social work in my master as a master's degree at the University of Bristol in
Okay.
England. My biggest dream had always been to work for the UN. I remember having that conversation with my brother-in-law. I said, anything I'm going to study will be something that I can go back to Nigeria and I can
Give.
impact, you know. And then when I came back, I the job I was working in that went south was in a malaria eradication program, you know, here in Abuja, and they would be appropriated funds, and that was how that job went south. But that was me working as a project officer for malaria eradication, going around Nigeria. I traveled to a few states, Benue, Zamfara. I went to Zamfara, one of the most amazing experiences I had ever had. And I went to Akwa Ibom. I visited what's it called, Taraba as well. You know, distributing mosquito nets, ACT materials, and
Mm.
all that. And that was what I wanted to do till that happened, and I now had to find. Obviously, I was a bit, I would say maybe a bit tired and a bit frustrated. But when I started my business, I remember being interviewed one day, and I said that to Ajuri. You know, Ajuri is the current spokesperson for the president currently now. Yeah, he interviewed me when he worked in channels, and I said to him, "This was my dream." And then when he came out to the back of my factory, I had all this staff, and he was asking them, "Oh, hi, how are you? So where are you from?" I said, and I started introducing them. I said, "This one is from Nasara. This one is from Imo. This one is from Jos. This person is from Edo." He said, "Amaka, you always said you wanted to
This
work
is
for
the
the
United
UN.
Nations.
This is your United Nations in your
In
Nigeria,
Nigeria, right
you
in
know?"
our backyard.
And it had never clicked, you know, for me. And I was like, yes, oh my God. And today, I'm sure if I read out the all the states and where my staff come from, it's amazing. And then it's not just that; it's the fact that we also have people from all these other countries interested in what we do. We're selling the dream, and we're telling people it's possible that this can be made in Africa. You know. So yeah, I was in Rwanda for the Chogom event, the Commonwealth Business Forum last year. I went with Dana Seamer, that's the Chambers of Commerce,
Mhm.
and people from different countries. So, oh my God, you guys are doing amazing. We want you to come to our country and all that. So you can imagine the dream is that one day you find Mak Nisy in all these places. And then indeed, Amaka would obviously had her United Nations, you know. So yeah.
So we'll go on a quick break. And when we return, we'll be back to continue the Mak Nisy story.
Made for more with Maya. Dare to be more.
Welcome back from the break. We're still here with our engaging conversation with Nneamaka Nwosisi, CEO Mak Nisy Collections. I'd like to know, how did friends, family, maybe your parents, even react when you came back and said, you know, this social work again after going all the way to the UK, not even going to do estate management, you now want to do bag making. So share with us.
Um, my parents were, I would say, they were a bit supportive. So obviously when I had looked for, when I couldn't get employment when I came back, because this was a span of like a year, my first job in this town was a nursery school with my master's degree and my British accent. So you can imagine, you know, it wasn't easy.
Uh-huh.
And then when I finally got this job in this NGO, they were so happy. And then that month I start working, they stopped paying salaries. November 2010. So I worked November 20, November, December, January. They paid us the first salary in February. I was in Zamfara sharing, distributing this mosquito net, and I missed my graduation. I never forget this, because of this whole thing. So when the job started, obviously those whole turmoil started happening. You would think of me. The question was, would you go back to England? You can't find work. You had work waiting for you. I'm a social worker. We are overworked and saturated. Like our work is, they're looking for social workers in England.
Globally.
Thank you,
Yeah.
globally. So you can imagine me being here, couldn't find work just because I came back to get married. And when this whole thought about this bag making thing came, I would want to tell you my parents were supportive. I grew up with a very creative mom who only all she did was propel me, because that was, my mom was a skills person, and that was literally how she supported my dad in raising us. My dad was amazing. He would look at magazines, I think from the very first day he saw a bag I had made, and he called and said, "You made this." I sent it to my mom. "You produced this?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh my God, you guys are taking after your mom. This is nice. How much are you selling this?" We
Nice.
had this conversation. My dad be reading magazines, and he will cut out pictures of bags, cut out a few of them, put it in a brown envelope, put it in an auto stand, send it to Abuja for me.
Oh.
So I got that support from my parents and my big sister, who I would tell everything. I remember my sister being my first person who told me how to organize myself, and put my sales and everything on Excel. In short, I went back, I was in Benue. I remember the first time she told me how I could put. She didn't want me to lose money, because I was saying, "Oh my, this small business is making money. Joke like joke. Oh, I've made like 100,000. Oh, I spent this." And she was like, "Let's not make the mistake. We need to calculate right. So you need to take out your expenses." I said, "How are we going to do? Let's use Excel." She taught me how to, because I had never had to do anything really
Business
on
was,
Excel.
yeah.
So she was like, "No, we're going to do this. Your expenses minus your sales minus your expenses. So you're keeping all your records." It was my big sister. I never forget. I was in a hotel in Benue, and we were doing this project because finally the business, the job was trying to round out, and I was just doing this bits and bobs. So this was September 2011 when I now came back finally. I now got this funny order, and I came back. So yes, my immediate family supported me. My husband didn't have anything to say about this, because I couldn't really find employment. And when I started this, he will have friends over with their wives. Before I'll go and bring my small cannabis, go put it
Marketing.
and be marketing my bags. And he's like, "Well, you're creative,
If it makes you happy.
If it makes you happy, and if this is what you want to do now, no problem." It started out of a joke. The people who would frown at it are people who didn't understand why this was the path I took, the kind of friends I had then, or the people who would just wonder, why is this girl back here? Somebody who has such a promising career, just come back here and this is what you're doing. But for me, I'm happy I had that thing where I had to move to England to learn that thing that I would say to everybody. At the end of the day, nobody cares. And moving to England also made me know that the value of hard work, the value of those things we overlook. You can fix your hair. A plumber, you can't call before you call a plumber in England, you will be ready. Mechanic, all those jobs, linear jobs that we overlook in Nigeria, moving to England made me value them more. I had a woman who I had to pay, I'm telling you, in 2006, I used to pay her £35 to retouch my hair that I used to retouch for 500 naira in my street in England. So that made me
DIY
understand
culture.
the power of having a skill. This was something that my mom, I told you, was a skill person, will force us to do and will overlook it. But when I started, the little money I was making, the awe that people had. If you're wearing a clothes, I see you, I tell you, if you give me your jacket, I'll turn it into a bag by tomorrow. And people are like, "What? You have a scarf, you don't want to use it?" For short, I started with customizing bag and doing bespoke. So people have weddings, they don't want to wear tie the gele. People like me, I don't know how to tie gele, and they want to have something. They just send a marker. Some of these tailors in town became my best friends. Because I have this girl that can convert it into a handbag for you. You just call me, maybe like 5 or 6 in the evening, and by the next morning I've given you a bag, and I could start this from start to finish, make it, and then they go to say, "Yeah, see you." So the people who wouldn't understand what I was doing, I would turn around and tell some of my friends, I say, "Don't worry. In a few years' time, you people will get it." But I knew what I was building. I knew how this thing had how this business per se had changed my life and my perspective on everything. It wasn't easy, I will tell you, but yes, my immediate family and people who mattered
We're supporting.
pushed me on. I went, well done, bravo. And that gave me the zeal I needed to continue pushing.
Now let me ask, when you began 12 years ago, did you see yourself coming as far as you have come? And it was a picture, clear that it could blossom into all it is today. You own a store, you go around the world, and with the fashion and all of this.
No, obviously, no, it wasn't. I didn't know what it was going to become. But as the years went by, I will tell you, it took me about 4 years. I like to tell this story because people will always ask you, so when did you know it was time? I have a bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree from a university in England, and then I come back and then I start a business that I have to go and speak broken because the people I could afford to hire when I started were people who were in a certain cadre in life, And I'm speaking broken. I'm doing my first workshop was in front of my door. I ran Mak Nisy from the front of my door for 7 months, and I was hiring about 5 people. So it took me time to say this was it. And at this point, yes, I couldn't find work. I wasn't looking, but when you have something that is propelling you and something that probably God has put in your pathway, those things you're looking for start to come. And even for me, I was like, at a point, I felt I had built it up to a certain stage. I got an admin person, I had my production, things were coming out, people will order online. I put my business online very early. I had this Google website that I was literally almost like the face of for, and I put my things online. I felt, oh, I've gotten into a place where they can be running it. This money can be coming. I beg, I want to go and look for work and wear suit. Can't be doing this thing. And I started looking for work. And I'll go for a few interviews. And I had this break because it took me maybe about 4 years. I'll just be going, I'll be looking for consultancy. People will give me, the NGO people sometimes will call me, write this proposal, come for this training, I'll do it on the side, come back. Till the day I went for an interview with Heritage Bank when they were launching in Nigeria. That was the day I decided to stop looking for work. So my sister's friend, they're coming into town, and my maid of honor tells me they're here. They interviewed her and they're paying big bucks, company car, this one, that, the flares of working in and it's corporate banking. I said, I better go, let me go. I went in there for my interview and I had the space. So to them, they never heard about Mak Nisy Collections. They didn't know what it was. I had 2 guys and 2 girls on my interview, top bankers, and they asked me, so what do you do? What was this Mak Nisy? They went through my CV. You've been at this Mak Nisy. What's this thing? And I said, it's my business. We make bags. This one. They said, they now looked at the bag I had, and like, you made this? I said, yes. Ha. The girl on the side that hadn't looked at me, she said, can you please put it on the table? I stood up, I put my bag on the table. And then they went, so what do you do? How much do you make from this every month? I told them, do you make it alone? I said, no. How many staff do you have? I have almost 10. Ha! They look at themselves.
What are you doing?
This is good looking. One of them that was Igbo. She said, and you say you really do, where do you sell this bag? I tell them people are buying from everywhere, we ship around. They were just doing like this. They finished. They said, so if we tell you to show us pictures of this, can we see? They said, yes, I have my iPad. Can I get my iPad from my bag? So I'll show you guys. They said, can you see? I now opened my laptop. I think we just done a photo shoot of some of our Ankara bags. And it was just Ankara that we were making at that point, and just a little bit of leather, because we make bags on Ankara prints, exotic prints, things like this that are really unique. I had just shot some pictures that morning. So I gave them my laptop, my iPad. And they started flipping. Hey! The guy said, you made this? Are this available to order? And one of the girls that was Igbo said, did your husband put you up to who put you up to this? Why are you here?
Can you imagine?
I told me, please forget about this interview. Come, save this for my wife. Do this. I had taken orders for about 10 bags. I'm not maybe 10 or 11 bags from these people, and they sat me down and said, we are trying to leave this thing and go into, you have a job that hires people, you're changing people's life, you're making these things. Did you see how? Please calculate how much we just ordered here. I did. I said, are you still going to be looking for jobs? Anybody deceiving you that anything out there is better than this thing you're doing? It's a liar. One of them say, I bind the devil that brought you here. Don't let anybody make you, they finished, and I just stood up and left. My sister's friend who called me for this interview, she got into the office and they bombarded her like, "Are you mad? Why did you tell that girl to come here? You want her to come and do what?" She didn't even know what I was doing. So she was just like, "What is going on? I don't even know." Her sister called me and I didn't even know what she was. Hey, she called me, "Nneamaka, what happened? What?" I finished. Ali Baba's wife was managing that.
Amazing. Yeah,
Was managing Heritage Bank
Yeah.
when it launched. They got in, they told her about me. I was just pulling into my house, just seeing my husband, what happened. I got a call. The call came in maybe the fourth time. I said, "Babe, let me answer this call. Somebody has been buzzing my phone." I picked up and said, "Hello, madam. Hi, you just left here for an interview. Our MD wants to see you.
Wow.
She says you should come right back to Maitama." It was in Maitama. I dropped the phone. I called my husband. I said, "Maybe after this now, you will decide to focus on this thing you are doing, Abi." Say yes. I came back, walked into her office, and she just went, "Oh, you're the long lady that they say that has work that came to look for work.
Wow.
Please just give me the iPad. I want to order my own." She didn't have nothing. When she finished, she said, "Continue looking for work. Please make sure they deliver my." She ordered maybe like 5 bags or something. Wow. Continue looking for work, eh? She was not even about to try to tell me anything. Say, "I beg, just order, deliver our
Send my
bags."
bags to me.
And that was the last time I ever tried to look for
Wow.
any job. So I will tell this story because you would think it's easy to just say this is what you want to do. The challenges are there. It's not easy, but I was able to have this experience because if this didn't happen, I'll probably still be deciding, should I do this, should I do this. But this was what made me now say, okay, no, let me go, settle down, concentrate on this, try to build it properly, push myself out there, let people actually even know what I'm doing. This was the moment. So it took me 4 years to get to this place. But yeah, that was one story that actually happened to me. Yeah, that changed
Interesting.
everything.
I told you we're going to have lots of aha moments from this story. Good.
Made for more with Maya. Dare to be more.
You talked about challenges. Can you share some of the challenges you've had to face in course of this journey of 12 years?
Yes. Major challenges like just trying to set up a business. A business that you didn't start with writing a business plan, like say in the real world how it's supposed to happen. Trying to even find your path to actually structure, to have a plan and a course of what you want to do and where you want to take your business. I face that. Finding the right staff, finding the right staff, finding people who would buy into the vision,
Yeah.
finding people who would not just buy into the vision, who can contribute to actually boost your vision. Because the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you need a congregation. So just finding people who understand where you're going and people who can propel you to do better. And then the whole general everything that any other business person is going to tell you that are challenges, infrastructure is big in Nigeria. We're still running our diesels, our generators. My business went from when the diesel went up to saying, no, I can't do it again. I went back to fuel. Now, fuel is almost the price of diesel. We don't know which one we're doing. We're now looking for maybe solar and other alternative power sources. Logistics, bad roads, increasing everything. And then the biggest one we're dealing with now, because for my business, we'll have to buy a certain amount of accessories from our metals, which are not made in Nigeria. We'll have to buy it from outside the country and import them. We can't even find Forex to do that. There's no aid, there's no support, So, yes, the challenges are there and they're the things that make you want to go, oh my God. But for every day you say it, I'm happy we have God, and they'll tell you, you hard finish, you go better. So yes, the challenges are there, but yeah, these are the things that are there. We've gotten certain things right with probably our staffing, because we've had people who've been in the business for a long time, like my boy I've told you, who's been there for like 12 years. We have people who've been there for 9, 7. We have a very good staff retention rate, and they've been with us and they help to train the people who come newly. As we innovate and do new things, they're able to help us to just well, we know that change is the most constant thing and we keep moving. But yeah, these challenges I mentioned, every business owner you meet currently in Nigeria will tell you it's biting, so yeah.
Talking about staff, how many staff do you have now in total?
We have either full time, almost 50, and then we still have people who are not here. We have staff, we have our part time staff and ad hoc staff who are in Aba, Lagos. Obviously, we have people in our other stores. But yeah, we have generally full time, almost 50 people who work
That's a
for
large
us.
number.
It's a large number. So combine Mak Nisy and Nwosisi, yes, the two companies, yes. I don't know how we got there, but yeah.
I like that.
That's our reality right now. Sometimes when I see all of them, I'm like, what are all of you doing here? And they just laugh like, okay, we here. But yes.
Super, super, super amazing and inspiring story of Mak Nisy Collections. I'd like to know, in course of your business journey, this is 12 years and counting, can you share us some major lessons you have learned or skills that you think you have acquired over the years that have kept you in business?
One of my major lessons is never, never give up. Never, never give up. Never say never, because you never know. I learned that change is constant. You have to change, you have to innovate, you have to redefine, you know. And then this business has shaped me to be a different person. I've learned that I have to listen more. I've learned that I don't just have to be me, I have to be an empathetic leader. I've learned that the business has gone the business has taught me that it's no longer about me, it's about the people. I value my staff and people who work for me so much because I still remember that there are no robots making bags anywhere in the world. So
you need them.
So it's made me, it's formed me, it's changed me, and it's also taught me humility. You know, so yes, there's so many. I don't know if I start listing all the lessons I've learned. It's endless. It's every day. I learn from everyone. I learn from the cleaner in the business. I learn from the big, because they teach you every day. I've met so many people as well in the course of having this family, because we have a very big family. To know that people everybody comes with their own strengths, and if you quiet down the noise and look past the human being standing in front of you, there's so much to learn from everybody. Remember, we're all raised differently by different parents, and there's just so much to learn from people. So I've learned not to underestimate anybody, because some of my best staff and some of the ones who have lasted longer working with me, I can tell you the story of my current operations manager. She came to me as a young girl and she was just helping in the accessories room. She's the one who is managing operations today. She has shown this tenacity, this growth. And, I just discovered her because whoever was managing, who was an account admin at that point, traveled, and she had to do something, and she just did something. I was like, okay, this is how I discovered them. So when you come to work for me, maybe you're a new HR person or a new manager, and you're trying to tell me this person, I just tell them, calm down, wait, that one. So the one we call the young CEO now in the business is the youngest one. She's about 19. The strength she has, unbelievable. Like the power she possesses. She can run the morning meeting just like I'm running it, because they run the meeting now. I take everything I learned from England and I put it there. I teach them beyond just coming to work. So you have to chair a meeting, you have to you have to come and see how it feels like to stand in front of everybody and talk, because they think it's easy. So they have to do reports, updates. Oh yeah, I learned that everybody has something, and if you just wait and give them time, you're going to see it.
You'll pick up. Sounds like a family that anybody wants to be a part of already. I'd like to know, how did you build that? Because hearing you talk about your staff, sounds like most of them understand the vision of the company and already a part of it. So how did you inculcate that into them?
I became a motivational speaker.
Because having a staff that stayed for 7-8 years, you deserve an award.
People tell me that, and then yes, it's because I look beyond the person. I'm a social worker, so we're taught to
Oh, I
be
see.
empathetic. But my person normally is just looking beyond people, and I think I have this. Well, they tell me I have this gift, you know. But I try to. It's not just the people come. I read people a lot. You know, I try to also read moments. You know, I don't know how I do it. They say they feel like I'm this. I catch things that maybe people don't see. You know, but I try to make them understand that they have so much. I try to tell even the senior staff, you have to value. If you show people that you value them, you show people that that their contributions make sense and they can be
Matter.
more, teaching them they can be more. It's not what you get every it's not what you get anywhere. not
Mm.
not magnifying mistakes, and just talking to them like their parents would talk to them. Some of them might not listen. I've had staff who have worked with me, and you will talk to them, they'll say they shout on them, they do this and do that. They come, they leave, they go to another business, and they come back. I've had a staff come and kneel for me and say, I'm about to start my business, ma, you must bless me.
Wow.
Because all those times where you were talking to us, we felt maybe you were shouting at us. You were no, no, no. You were teaching us.
Welcome back from the break. It's still the Made for More show where we remind you that you are truly made for more. You carry so much within you, and the world is waiting to see and experience the beauty you have within you. We've been having the conversation with Nneamaka Nwosisi, CEO Mak Nisy Creations, and it's been an exciting journey. I'd like to know, you've been part of some major fashion events around the world, like the African Fashion Week in Abuja last year, then UNESCO African Week in Paris this year, and then you were also in Kigali, Rwanda. How did you get selected for this event, and then what impact has it had on your business?
Okay, so selection process is, well, when you're doing something that these organizations feel the world needs to see, they call on you. So I get called and invited to these events,
Wow,
and they take me around to different countries because of what we do and what we've been able to build.
amazing. And this is
So
all expense paid, like, yeah?
yeah, most
Yeah,
of them
living the
are.
life, man.
Yes, yeah. So the UNESCO Africa Week, the UNESCO Paris Africa Week this year I was called on because 3 years ago I made a bag for the first lady. I didn't know I was making a bag for the first lady. I was
Amazing.
just called on. They told me to make bags for three different people. I know one was higher, like three different cadre of people,
Mm,
and it was a minister's wife who called me for this. So I just felt she was giving the bag to maybe a governor, so I never knew it was for the first lady. This
amazing.
happened 3 years ago. So like they say, you sowed this seed 3 years ago, and they picked it. The lady who invited me, the boss who invited me for this one, currently is the head of the UN delegation, Nigerian delegation to the UN, to UNESCO. And she was there the day they delivered the bag. And she remembered the minister's wife, Mrs. Omana, saying, this bag was made in Nigeria, and everybody was like, how? Obviously, where? Who is the person? No. So it stuck to her head 3 years ago. So this year now, she's in Paris. She's the head of the UNESCO delegation for
Mm,
Nigeria, and they're doing the Africa Week, and they need people to come and represent Nigeria. And she was like, and it's fashion. They want more fashion,
mm-hmm.
And she's like, she calls the lady and said, there's something that's happened. Where is that girl that made that bag that you brought for the
Wow.
first lady? 3, maybe even 4 years ago now. I don't know. And I just got a call. I said, Amaka, remember that bag I told you to make that year? I said, yes. She said, do you know who you made it for? I said, ah. Say, guess. I
Amazing.
told her, maybe governors. I said, no, you made it for the first lady. I said, huh? I did not know. Did
Amazing.
I see her carrying it? I did not know. I just
Amazing.
made the bag. He said, well, I need you to come and meet her friend or her somebody who works with her. They say they're doing something in Paris and they want you to come. So maybe she didn't even tell me. She said they're just doing something somewhere and they want you to attend. So it was just like a joke. She comes to my store, picks me up, and we go to this place in Musi too and meet this lady who was having like a board meeting with all these big men. And then we finished. It was like, in short, she bought a bag for her that day again to take to her and say, say you really, really do this. You're still doing this. This is even more prettier. And she's like, we're doing this in Paris. We want you to come, write us a letter, sending your Kiniko and everything. And that was how it started. Before you know, I
Wow.
was heading to Paris in June. They wrote me a note verbal. I went in, got my
Mm.
visa. I was heading to Paris. Literally, like I say, all expenses paid, and we sold out. You know, I went to Paris with so many of these bags. I came back with just 3 pieces. So
This is an
this is
exciting,
this is literally how it
exciting
happened, and they were
story.
so happy because literally maybe by the second day we were almost out on products, and it was a 5 day event. I didn't even know how big this event was going to be. So thank God I even went with the Dix and Daxi that I went to it. And we still have people buying. I'm sure we'll have a store where a lady who has an African store we're talking with currently in Paris,
She's
you
in
know,
stock. Yeah.
yeah, who has ordered some things and they're still talking to us because they want us to come and stock with them. So this is even the impact of this event. We're talking to some people in Angola currently. We have people we're talking to in Zambia, because these are people I now met in Chogom, you know, in the Commonwealth Business Forum in Kigali. So for every day you go, even in Algeria, you know, we're talking to some other lady there trying to get us in to stock our Gamusi line in a multi-departmental store in both, okay, in Ivory Coast, then even Algeria. So everywhere you go, you drop your footprints because people are happy to see that what you're doing is different. There's not a lot of people who are making bags. Most of the bags that are made that are sold here are made in China and all these other places. So when you see something that's done well, properly
Indigenous.
finished, you know, you can use it. Some people buy it and use it and they're waiting for it to break down and it's not breaking down. Ha. I'm like, okay, we need to tap into this. So I'm happy. I'm happy we have that. But yeah.
Really, really interesting. I'd like to know. So have you had course to go improve your bag making skills? I mean, over the years, this is 12 years. Did you go for trainings, or was it just keep trying and improving on your leather, all of that?
Oh no, we like my motto is literally you live and learn. We learn every day. We are not there. We're not there yet, you know, and we're learning. We make mistakes on a bag and we see how to improve it. And then for courses, yes, for every time I have time to travel and I can book a course, bag making courses are not don't come cheap. And now with the whole dollar thing, they run into, some of them run into millions, you know, thousands and thousands, you know. But yes, for every time I have an opportunity to learn, I'm learning, you know, and we're improving. We're so lucky that there's a tutorial that we're doing now for an online course with an atelier in Italy, because there's some things that they do and you're wondering, oh my god, how are they able to get this strap to just shape like, or this handle to shape like this? So those are the kind of things that for every time you see something new, you want to innovate, because you have to keep up with what is going on. You have to, can't be selling bags that you were selling 4 years ago. Now you must give your customers something new if you want them to keep buying. So yes, we still learn, and for every day we improve ourselves. Yeah.
That's a word for a business owner. You need to keep learning, keep innovating, keep improving. You can't keep doing the same thing you did 5 years ago today. You lose the customers. So that just might be some answer to somebody's thought process. Why are my customers leaving? You probably need to go and work better on yourself, learn, grow, and keep growing, keep learning. You were also a Mandela Washington Fellow. Tell us about that process, selection, getting in, the experience.
Oh well, Mandela Washington process was another one. I went to the Mandela Washington Fellowship in 2017. So I'm a
This was in the US.
2017, yes, in the United States.
Great.
It was Mandela Washington Fellowship is an initiative started by the former president of the United States to help African youths to come to the US. So the process is they select you because you're doing something in either public public the public field and entrepreneurship or civic leadership, and they take us to the US for they take the people to the US for 6 weeks. It's still going, it's still ongoing. 1,000 Africans. Yes, you can't go past 35. 1,000 Africans every year go. Nigeria has either, I think the highest, Nigeria and another country, well, 1,100 Nigerians that get to go every year. I don't know if it's still the same thing, but in my set, 100 Nigerians. So they select you from, you apply and then they select people who are doing well. So my friend told me about it because a girl here in Abuja had gone the year before, and then when it started again, my friend told me about it and I read about it. I was like, oh my god! I shared it with my big sister. She was like, oh my god, you have to go for this. You have to be a fellow. Yeah, my big sister. Yes, Onyoma, she's amazing. She says to me, my god, you have to go. You have to be a fellow. And then the dilemma then was because my kids were still about almost just they were just about to be 2. So it was, how do you leave these little kids? What do you do? and go for this event. She was like, if we have to carry them and go, we are going. She was really fellow.
How
I
long was the
applied.
duration?
It was 6 weeks.
Great.
So it wasn't too long, 6 weeks, and then you spend 3 days in Washington when we finished from the schools. So I applied and my application was approved. And funny enough, the day my application was approved, I was supposed to go for the interview was set. I was supposed to leave the country with one of my son for a checkup, for a medical checkup. So I called them and sent them a message because they say they can't move except if something is stimulating. So I was the first person they interviewed in Abuja that year in the embassy because the interview is done somewhere else. But they gave me this privilege, interviewed me, and when they saw what I was doing, the person who was involved, the person who was in charge then in the embassy was like, oh my God, we'll have to have you. My wife is going to go crazy for these bags. They're going to love you in the US, So that was how I got in. And going to Mandela Washington Fellowship was amazing for me. I was happy I was able to go. My mom came in, helped me stay with the kids, and I was able to travel for that 6 weeks. It was life-changing because so many of the things I thought I had gotten right or I thought I was doing, the questions they asked me, the merging with my pen collaborator, they merge you with somebody who's running a business in the US to teach you and to tell you how businesses are run, and that's what it's all about. Going to take something from another country and coming here to implement it how you can. So many of the questions they will ask us, we had an amazing professor, Professor Doggett, John Doggett, amazing black African professor who had worked. I was in the University of Texas in Austin, and he would ask us so many questions that would probe me. So for the first 2 or 3 weeks in that place, I was almost depressed. When you think you kind of almost have it right, and they're telling you about, you have to change this, you have to rethink this. I remember them asking me, how do you buy your materials? So what's the lifespan? What's this? Yes, we know there's a lifespan for leather and certain things, but you now find that the proper businesses in the world buy certain things just to use it for this, and when it's done, they dispose of it, and that's actually what we're buying in this part of the world as samples and all that. You have to plan everything. You have to have a yearly budget. You have to run this thing if you want it to be sustainable. And when I say it was life changing, because by the time they now started seeing what I was doing, the amount of people I was employing, what I had done, how I was moving my bags, selling in the US and all that, she really helped me a lot, and we're still friends till today. So that was a life-changing experience for me. So thank you to Mr. President Obama, thank you to the US Embassy in Nigeria for this initiative and finding someone like me worthy to go. It really changed my business and helped Mak Nisy a lot, and helped me as a person as well.
Interesting. And it's an annual fellowship, so just in case you're watching, look out for it.
Yes, it's an annual fellowship. They're doing it every year still, because we have to go talk to them and tell them about how they're going to experience and what they're going to do. And you're placed with people from different countries. So it's not just about going for the fellowship, you're meeting people. So I still have my people from Burundi, Tanzania, different countries in Africa that you meet, and you guys become lifelong friends and you're partnering with them. Yeah, so it's an amazing fellowship.
We're discussing the Mak Nisy story, and this just goes to tell you that your dreams are valid. You have ideas in your head, start from somewhere. You want to write that book, begin to write today. You have some music notes in your head for a song, begin to give expression. You just never can tell. Imagine making a bag for the first lady of your country. That's huge. You're a superstar. I know, but that's even more interesting because you just never can tell how far. And then, of course, with the blessings of God on what you do, you just don't know where it will go. And I think there's also a lesson there in putting your mind to everything. You didn't know who you were making the bag for. So imagine if you had maybe cut corners or done something funny. All these opportunities would not have come from that experience. I'd like to ask, let's come to you to talk about your son. Let's talk about merging motherhood. I mean, you have triplets. Very interesting story. 3 kids at once. So how have you merged? How old are they now?
They're 8. They just turned 8.
Great. Fantastic. Yeah. So how have you merged motherhood? I mean, three human beings of the same age, and then running a business, and then all your trips, everything. What has the journey been like for you?
First of all, I'll let you know it's not easy. You're a mother, you've raised children, it's not easy, but I don't joke with support, and why I'm sitting here today is because even in the afternoon, hubby had to do school run. We still have to pick them from school. They don't have a school bus. I have my girls who help me. So where I need help, I seek. I'm not the kind of person who doesn't tell, or I don't claim to know it all. I'm not a know-it-all. And I always appreciate help. So if you want to know how I've been able to do it, it's because my husband has helped. It's because my girls help me. It's because even my staff, sometimes my staff have to step in to help. I'm telling you that like something's going on, they have to help me with the kids. It's because I plan. Also, I'm a very organized human being. I'm here in this interview with my PA. She helps me organize my life. So I don't underestimate the support that I have around me and how blessed I am to have all these people who want to see me grow and are ready to help me. So if you want to know how I do it, just know I have support. I cannot do it alone. Nothing. I cannot do nothing alone. So yes, thank you to everyone who supports me, no matter how small it is. I appreciate. Thank you.
Talking about support system, can we talk about mentors on this journey? Mentors, life generally, or business, whichever people who have inspired your journey so far?
Well, my first mentor is my mom. I tell you that all you see today is because of the mother who raised me. So I have other mentors and other people who I look at, but the person who put this in me, I will tell you, and I will remember so many times it was by force, Seth. You have to do this, you have to do this. But I grew up with a mom who would make magic with her hands. My mom till today still beats. She would crochet. She would bake. She did so many things. Like I grew up, learning the value of hard work and understanding that it pays. When we didn't understand why she would make us do all those things, by the time we got into school, the little extra pocket money that came from the side from what my mom did. I remember being in school and she was retailing her pins for scarf. Then I went to Aba State University and a group of women were selling these things in Aba. So she would make me go, I'll drop it after like 1 month or 2 months, I'll go back, go to the different houses and collect this money and have to protect it, go back to school with it, hide it, take it back to Enugu for her because I'm telling you, this is it. Not now that there's internet. You can imagine if there was the internet and the WhatsApp and Instagram, she'd be listing her products. But my mom was doing this right out of when I was in university and even when I was in primary school. So my mom put this in me. Then I have my mom and her sisters are amazing. So all of us, even our cousins, my cousins were making their clothes. They were braiding our hair. You could make anything. They were cooking, they're decorator. I have cousins that they're everything. Auntie Chiza and Auntie Bele and Auntie Foma can make magic. So my mom's big sister's kids, they're amazing. And we spent so much time. Well, when I was in my teenage formative years, my secondary school, I spent it with my auntie Chiza, and she's magical. She will do everything. So when it got to me, when you see me today, I do so much. I bake. I don't take work. It's not hard for me. Like when you see people who don't want to work, I'm like Jesus, because for me, I was brought up with so much of this, right in the middle of it, and it's hip. Right now, it's so hip to have a skill, but I grew up when it wasn't even hip. I'm happy I appreciated it. So these are my mentors. I have other business people who inspired me when I started my business. Oba Igweze, they run design here in Abuja. Oba is an big influencer now. She was running her design business with her sister, and they were doing amazing. And I looked up to them, and these were the people that were running the business that I was looking up to. Mima Clothing in Lagos, who is a personal friend of mine. I saw how she was able to transform her business. Currently now in Paris, retailing and doing so much. So yes, I have other mentors who inspire me. I have one of my best bag designers is Aya Hindmarch because of the customized and the personal spin she puts to her products. So I have all these people and I take inspiration from everywhere. I take inspiration from everywhere because like I said to you, you can learn from so many people. But yes, my first mentors are the people who raised me.
We've been having great conversation with Ms. Nneamaka Nwosisi, CEO Mak Nisy Collections. Just before we let you go, what can you share with us some final word you have for some young person who's listening to you who is inspired by you but doesn't even know where to start from, or someone who has come somewhere in business and is struggling at the moment, what would you say to that person?
Well, first of all, I'll tell the person that perseverance, or the spirit of perseverance, is what they should pray for every day. Life is not easy, and the times we're in now, not just here in Nigeria, but everywhere in the world, it's we're in volatile times, right? So you need to persevere. You need to have that dogged spirit to continue to give up. If you're running a business, you don't know where to start. Start from somewhere. Start small. A lot of people like to blow things big, but in little with little steps, you form the biggest ones, right? So don't give up, continue to persevere, keep pushing yourself, keep innovating. Remember that change is constant. Open yourself up to new things, and just inspire. Just keep inspired, just keep inspiring. Look for people, read books. That's something I do. I read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of motivational speakers. Maybe not too much, but I read books, because in books you learn. In those pages you learn so much, right? So just keep pushing yourself. Don't look at that social media world, or that thing that tells people that anything comes easy. And I want you to remember, they say it a lot in Nigeria, nothing good comes easy. So you have to work hard. People see us as Mak Nisy and they think we just came out of nowhere. But we've been sowing the seed for 12 years. It's taken us a long time to get to where we are today, but we're doing it. So just keep pushing, never give up, and just remember that hard work pays.
Yeah, that was a lot of advice.
Yes.
But like she said, this was just her just speaking from her own journey and encouraging you. Start today. Start today. My name is Maya, and it's been the Made for More show, where we take you on a journey of self discovery. We showcase people who share their stories of self discovery and growth with you to be a platform for impact, influence, and income. Today, she employs over 50 people, touching lives, and that was because she chose to believe in her dream. Today, Mak Nisy has stores and people wanting to purchase them all over the world. So, what do I say to you? You are made for more. There is more to you. You carry so much, but your world is waiting to experience. And so don't think your ideas are not relevant. Don't think they don't make sense. No, give expression today. Till we come your way again, same time next week, keep learning, keep growing, keep striving for mastery, and never forget you are made for more. Thank you.
Made for more with Maya. Dare to be more.